On the 2nd of August, 1989, in Prince George, British Columbia, Canada, Jack's family disappeared under mysterious circumstances. The Indigenous Canadian family consisted of the husband, unemployed woodcutter Ronald Jack, age 26, his wife, Doreen, also age 26, and their sons Russell, aged 9, and Ryan, aged 4. They were last seen stepping into a pickup truck belonging to an unidentified man who had reportedly offered Ronald and Doreen jobs at a logging camp. The whereabouts of the family remain undetermined. An anonymous call in January 1996 claimed that their bodies were buried on a ranch, but the caller did not elaborate on the claim, and efforts to track down the caller were unsuccessful. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police, RCMP, maintained an open case file on the disappearance as of August 2020. The Jack family disappearance is often linked to other unsolved crimes against Indigenous Canadians along the Highway of Tears, a stretch of British Columbia Highway 16 between Prince George and Prince Rupert. The case has been dubbed Canada's most tragic and spooky modern disappearance. Ronald, born the 29th of March, ND 2063, and Doreen Jack, born the 24th of April, 1963, are both members of the Cheslata Carrier Nation, a First Nation located outside the village of Burns Lake, British Columbia. Little is known about their upbringing, although Doreen's older sister Maria has stated that both her and Doreen's childhoods were marked by neglect by their mother, physical abuse by their father, sexual abuse by family, friends, and widespread poverty in the local Indigenous community. Doreen, Maria, and another sister named Loreen were further abused when they were sent to Lejac Residential School near Fraser Lake as children. In 1976, after Lejac Residential School closed, Doreen attended a Catholic boarding high school. It was during this time that she began a relationship with Ronald. At the age of 17, Doreen gave birth to her first son, Russell, on the 28th of February, 1980. 2 years later, she rekindled her relationship with Ronald, and the couple moved in with his parents in Southbank. Mabel Jack, Ronald's mother, said that she and Doreen seemed happy with the arrangement, and there did not appear to be any difficulties between the couple, with Ronald treating Russell as his own son. The family's second son, Ryan, was born on the 26th of July, 1985. By the late 1982, the Jack family's living conditions had deteriorated considerably. Ronald lost his job at a sawmill after injuring his back, forcing the family to go on welfare and move to Prince George in search of better employment opportunities. Ronald's mother later described her son as very eager to work. Maria witnessed Ronald beating Doreen on several occasions, while Doreen began drinking heavily. At the time of their disappearance, the family's finances had become very difficult. Doreen is said to have resorted to stealing cough medicine for her children, while Ronald told Mabel that he owed someone an undisclosed amount of money. On the night of Tuesday, the 1st of August, 1989, about a year after the relocation to Prince George, a still unemployed Ronald visited the First Litra pub, located 4 blocks away from the Jack family's rented house at 2116 Strathcona Avenue. There, he was approached by an unidentified man who offered Ronald and his wife purported jobs at a logging camp located at or near Klukel's Lake, 40 kilometers, 24 miles, west of Prince George, along British Columbia Highway 16. The man told Ronald the job would last between 10 days and 2 weeks, and would include work for Doreen as the camp cook and daycare for the Jack children. The man Ronald spoke to has been described as a white man in his late 32nd, who was between 183 centimeter to 198 centimeter, 6 to 6'6", tall, and weighed between 91 and 125 kilogram, 200 to 275 pounds. The male had reddish-brown hair and a full beard, and was wearing a ball cap, red checkered work shirt, faded blue jeans, blue nylon jacket, and work boots, with leather fringes over the toes. Because the Jack family did not own a vehicle, the unidentified man offered to transport Ronald and Doreen to the logging camp that night in his four-wheel pickup truck. Ronald and the man left the pub at about 11:16 p.m. and returned to the Strathcona Avenue residence. In the early morning hours of the 2nd of August, Ronald called his brother in Burns Lake to arrange for his sons to stay with him while he was working. Instead, finding that doing so wouldn't be possible. Soon after, Ronald called his mother Mabel, also in Burns Lake, ending the conversation by telling her to look for him if he didn't come back. Two relatives of Doreen, including her sister Lorene, visited the house and witnessed the family packing belongings into the pickup truck. Ronald, Doreen, and their children have not been seen since. After Ronald had failed to contact her for several weeks, his mother reported the family missing in late August 1989. Police examined the Strathcona Avenue residence, where most of their furniture and clothes, as well as Russell and Ryan's school records, had remained since their departure. Various members of the Jack family, including Ronald's mother, have stated that there was no adequate support from any external organizations during the initial search on account of their indigenous background. On the 7th of September, 1989, the Prince George Detachment of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, RCMP, incorrectly reported that the family had been found, leading to the investigation briefly being closed. The following year, a televised reenactment of the disappearance produced by Crime Stoppers was broadcast on Prince George station CKPG television, despite the station not reaching the region where the family was believed to have disappeared. In 1992, it was reported that Prince George Native Friendship Center and Mabel Jack, Ronald's mother, were both fundraising in an effort to increase reward money and get more publicity for the case. Crime Stoppers was offering up to $2,000 for information or arrest, leading to the whereabouts of the Jack family. On the morning of Sunday, the 28th of January, 1996, an anonymous caller contacted the RCMP detachment in Vanderhoof, British Columbia, 61 miles west of Prince George. The caller, who was traced to a house in nearby Stony Creek, stated that the Jack family are buried at the south end of an unspecified ranch before hanging up. Police issued a province-wide appeal for the caller to make contact again and released an audio tape of the call when he did not do so. Subsequent investigation of the call determined that a party was being held at the house when the call was made, and that Vanderhoof police were unable to locate all of the 6 to 9 partygoers in attendance. In 2018, RCMP made another appeal for the caller to come forward. In August 2019, police conducted searches with ground-penetrating radar on property of the Saikous First Nation, south of Vanderhoof. No evidence concerning the Jack family was located. The disappearance of the Jack family remains one of Canada's most haunting mysteries. Did they fall victim to a sinister stranger, or vanish under circumstances even darker than we can imagine? Perhaps the truth is still out there, waiting to be uncovered. What do you believe happened that night? Share your theory in the comments below. And if you wish to journey deeper into the shadows of history's greatest unsolved cases, subscribe to channel Unsolved Mystery. Don't forget to like and share, because every mystery deserves to be told and remembered.